One of the problems with creating widgets and allowing for user input is a user might input something that is unexpected, or they might not know exactly what they need to input. So we might want to fix the user input so that the HTML code is exported properly. For example, in our anchor widget, we've entered our URL as https://www.google.com. This is required for an anchor tag in HTML. If our user were to enter something like just www.google.com or just google.com, that link is not going to work. For example, if I preview this page now after making that change, you'll see that the link does nothing. So we're going to have to find a way to fix the input for the user so that they can make mistakes like this, or so that they have the freedom to input stuff the way they like, but our widget is able to fix this. So we can do that with the processing code property of our controls. If we go back to our anchor widget and click the controls tab, we'll see from our URL control here, we have the processing code property. When we click edit, a window will come up allowing us to write a basic scripting code. I've already pre-filled this section with this code here, which is more or less the most basic default code that you're going to use for this section. What this does is it declares three variables. A variable lets us hold a value in memory. So we have the value variable, the name variable, and row text variable. These can be named whatever you want, but with consistency, this is what most widgets are using. So on the fourth line here, we'll see that we're taking name and we're assigning it a certain value. So in this case, we'll use the input keyword. And then within quotes, we'll use the variable that we want. These variables are built into Everweb. So this variable, dict variable name, means we're going to get the name of our control that corresponds to our variable option name. So in this case, what we've entered here. The next line, line 5, gets the value of that control. So what the user has inputted. And the sixth line is row text. This is special because this gets the actual HTML code that comes from our widget settings here. So from the processing code, we can actually manipulate the user input and change it or correct it and pretty much assign anything that we want. So if we want to make sure that no matter what, our URL always has HTTP, we can check for that from the value variable and then fix it before it's exported to the HTML code. To do that, we're going to use some basic scripting. We're going to use an if-then statement. So this line says, if the value does not contain a colon and a slash slash, then we need to actually change that variable value. We're going to assume that that means that they haven't entered HTTP colon slash slash. So we can add it to our variable. So what this is saying is that our value variable will add HTTP colon slash slash plus what's already actually in the variable. So now that we've changed the value of our variable here, we're going to have to actually send our results back to the HTML code. For that to work, we have to use the print command, and we have to use a row text variable, which, as I stated before, has all of our HTML code that we entered under widget settings. So this code here will say print, so print our row text while replacing all occurrences of our variable. So remember, variables start with these three characters and end with these three characters, and the name variable has our variable option name in it. And we're replacing it with our new value. If we don't include this print line, then no code is going to be exported from our widget. So now that we've written all of our code, we've verified whether or not the value starts with HTTP, we're going to click OK. We'll click Save, and we'll return to our Everweb page. Remember, we're going to switch to a new page, back to our home page, click our widget, and here I'm going to enter a new result just to test. So here, yahoo.com. So even though I've entered in yahoo.com, when I go and preview in Safari, you can see we're taken to Yahoo. If I right-click and inspect my HTML code, you'll see that the HTTP was added to my link.